On today's episode of Tasha's Sewing Tutorials, we will be learning how to make a fur jacket without a pattern. And this is super easy. If you can make a circle skirt, you can most definitely make this jacket. So stay tuned and let's begin. Okay, today our model for the day is going to be Beauty as usual. Say hi to the camera, Beauty. Say hi.
Hi.
Look at the camera and say hi.
Hi.
Okay, so the very first thing we're going to do is take our measurements that we need to make this jacket. First measurement we're going to take is going to start at the shoulder, right where your shoulder seam would be if you had on a shirt. Actually, I would recommend you wear a t-shirt when you're doing this instead of what Beauty has on, which is actually a t-shirt reconstruction that I'm going to do a video on closer in the springtime. But anyway, you're going to start it where the seam is on your t-shirt, go over the chest all the way down to where you want the jacket to stop. And I actually want it to be 16 inches, so I'm going to write that down, 16 inches. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to measure the chest, right around the chest, the bust line. And Beauty's measurement is going to be 23. We're going to measure the hips. Well, actually, we're going to measure exactly where we wanted the jacket to stop. Not, if it's not on the hips, if you want it to stop right here, measure right here on the waist. If you want it to stop on the hips, measure the hips. Beauty's hips are 23. And we're going to measure, no, stand back up so they can see you. Turn around. Turn around. Get on, like, do it on your knees. Get on your knees a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Now the next measurement we're going to take, can you hold your ponytail right here? It's going to be from one side of the neck area for the collar to the other side. If she was wearing a shirt, it would be right here to here, and that would be 6.5. And we need to measure the neck front. Turn back around. Turn around this way. Get up a little bit more so they can see you. We're going to measure the neck front, which is from the shoulder to where we want the neck to end, which is 4 inches. I'm going to write that down. And then also we're going to do her wrist. I want her wrist to be, her wrist is 5 inches, but what I want to do, hold your arm up please, just like that. What I want to do is decide how big I want the sweep for the sleeve to be. And the sweep means how wide it is. And I actually want it pretty wide, so I'm going to go with 12 inches. That's what I want the sweep to be. And yeah, that's about it. So we're done with our measurements. The next thing we're going to do is go to construction. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, we took the measurements and we talked about the ones we're going to have to take, and I show you how to do them. So now we're going to talk about a little bit of math. I'm going to go ahead and adjust the camera so you can see what I'm writing on my paper, and hopefully you guys can bear with me a little. Actually, no, I can write upside down. Okay, let me adjust the camera and I'll come back and I'll the measurements that we started out with are the shoulder to the waist, that was 16 inches. Her chest was 23 inches. The hip was 23 inches as well. She's only 4 years old. She's pretty straight up and down. Her neck, the back of her neck for her collar was 7 inches. The front of the neck was 4 inches. And the sweep for the wrist, which is how wide we want our sleeve to be, I decided to go with 12 inches. Now, when we make this jacket is pretty simple. If you can make a circle skirt, you can make this jacket. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the circle. This is what this is. I'm going to draw another one. Hold on, let me get another piece of paper. Show you how to do it. We're going to draw a circle skirt. So you know how you do a circle skirt. You get your paper, your fabric, and you fold it in half. you're going to have the one fold right here and the part with the two folds up here. We're going to cut it out along these lines. Now this from here to here is the length of the jacket, which is the single fold, the length of the jacket. So ours would be 16. This with the double fold here to here will be the sleeve. So, and our sleeve is going to be the same length as our, from our shoulder to waist, our shoulder to hip, however long you want that to be, that's how long your sleeve is going to be at the same time. It's a pretty easy jacket, pretty simple jacket to make, guys. Now the next thing you're going to do, oh, you know what I forgot to tell you what to do, is to measure the underarm, where you want your underarm to begin, underneath your coat. Let me show you. Put this like this. From here, which is what the chest is, all the way down. You want to know where your, not the chest, I'm sorry, where your underarm is, all the way down. You want to measure from there to the hip as well. And what you want to do, because when you put your jacket on, you have to put it over your clothes. So what you want to do is measure what it is beginning where your t-shirt is that you're wearing and drop that down 1 inch. Ours was actually 9 inches, but I also need to add a seam allowance in there. And what I decided to do to add for a seam allowance is add another inch. So what I need to do is take that 9 inches and subtract 1 inch to turn it into 8 inches. And the reason why we do that is because this is a circle. I mean, I'm sorry, not a circle, but this is adding here and adding here. So we can have more for a seam allowance. If we were to add another inch to it, it would actually make this smaller instead of bigger. So in this case, in order to make the seam allowance, you want to take away 1 inch. So this is going to be 8 inches here from the underarm. And the way we determine where we're going to put the underarm at is we do like we said. I'm going to mark it right there. And the chest measurement is what this is going to be. And our chest measurement was 23. But we want to, like I said before, put this on top of clothes. So we need to add another inch to that. So I'm going to make that 24 and then another inch to that for a seam allowance, because I want a ½ inch on each side. And I want to make that 25. So that's what that chest measurement is going to be now, 25. It's because we added the design ease, which is 1 inch, and we added another inch for the seam allowance. So now what we're going to do is going to measure from here to here, which is the hip measurement, which was 23. And I actually want to add 2 inches of design ease to that. No, 3 inches. I want to add 3 inches to design ease in that. So I'm going to turn that into 27. Okay? 27 right here. No, 26, and then plus 1 inch for seam allowance is 27. Does that look like a 7 or is that a backwards 7? It's backwards? Okay, my bad. 27. 27, okay. But you also got to realize what we're doing. We're working with a quarter. I'm sorry, one, and right here, we're going to make that 12. So what I want to do is divide that in half. We're going to make that 6. Okay, when we're working for the sleeve, we're working on half, because you know you fold it in half. So half of 12 is going to be 6. So that's what that is. The hip, this is half, a quarter of the hip, because you have it folded, because you're making a circle skirt, remember? So we have it folded. So what we're going to do is divide this by 4. And that's the measurement we're going to have here. And like I said, that's going to be 6, because we're doing that in half. Because this is one side of the back, the left side of the back, the right side of the back, the left side of the front, and the right side of the front. It's 4, so we're going to divide that into 4. This is actually the top of the sleeve and the bottom of the sleeve. So we're going to divide that by 2, which is 6. And then right here is where we're going to divide the neck measurement in half, because this is the left side and the right side of the neck measurement. And to divide that in half, it would be 3.5. I'm writing upside down, guys. Bear with me. 3.5 and 27. Let me see my calculator, baby. 27 divided by 4 would actually be
3 and some change.
What is it, Maris?
3 and a few, and a little bit more. Point something.
It's actually 6 3/4, 6.75. So that's what this measurement is going to be. So we divided 27 by 4. This measurement is going to be 6.75. And this measurement right here, the 25 divided by 4, which will be 6.5. 6.25, I'm sorry, 6 1/4. Does that look like a 2?
No, it's like an upside down 5.
Oh, well. And that looks like a 6. I'm trying to write upside down. A 6 1/4. And this measurement right here, we're not going to do anything with that. We're going to make sure that that stays 16. This measurement, we're going to make sure it stays 16 as well. So, and actually, this is for the shell. And when we make the lining, the shell is 16. And we're going to add 1 inch to that for seam allowance, which makes that 17. And we're going to add, for the lining, the same thing. And when you make this jacket, so basically this is what you'll have. You'll have the sleeve sweep right here. You'll have the length here, which is 16 plus 1 inch for a seam allowance, which is 17. And this will also be 17. You have the hip, which is 6.75. You have the sleeve measurement, which she has is 6 because we divide that in half, remember? And we have the chest measurement, which is also in quarters, which is also 6.25. Now when you cut this out, you're going to cut it out like you do a circle skirt. You're going to have this 17, then 17. And then you're going to come here and you're going to cut this little wedge out right here. So you're going to mark your 8. Hers was 8. Go down to the hip measurement. So we're going to measure from here to here, which was 6.75. We're going to measure from here, here up, which is 8 inches. And then from here to here, we're going to make sure that that's 6.25. And so you're going to have a little slanty line like this. And then our sweep, I wanted it to be 6. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to measure down to, I wanted it to be 12. So, but we're adding, dividing that in half for 6 because you have 2 sides of a sleeve. So you're going to measure here. That's going to be 6. This is 8, and then you're going to make those 2 dots meet, and you cut this little blue part out. And what you're going to have, is basically a kimono. Basically what it looks like. And then you're going to cut down the front only, not the back, the front only. And you're going to cut the neck right here for the front and the back. And you're only going to cut the front only for this part right here, because this is the front. Cut that part away for the front only, because that is the front of the jacket that dips down. Okay, now we talked about the measurements. I'm going to actually get to the actual cutting out of fabric and construction. And then the jacket that I'm cutting out for you is not going to be the full size jacket because I already cut that out. And the jacket we're making is actually going to be for my niece, so when Beauty models it, she's not going to exactly fit it correctly. But yeah, I'm making that for my niece. And the one we're cutting out is going to be like a doll size. So this fabric is kind of expensive, and I don't want to cut out just for a sample, because Beauty's jacket is actually already made and she kind of left it at school. So that's why we have to do it like this. But anyway, this is how we're going to do it. And when we come back, we'll begin. Okay, now that we've talked about how cut,